Good evening and welcome back to our X Fuels channel, where we discuss issues and trends facing the oil and gas industry. If you are new to the channel, kindly like, subscribe, and share to stay updated on the current trends. We have with us once again Pranav Kanth, Director, Corporate Development and Strategy. Pranav Kanth is an accomplished strategist and marketer with over 23 years of experience in the oil and gas sector and has held various leadership roles in Total, BP, and Apar. Besides India, Pranav has a wide international experience working in Paris and Singapore. His functional expertise includes strategy, mergers and acquisitions, and marketing. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Zina. Welcome.
It's a pleasure to have you here again every week.
Absolutely the same here. I look forward to it.
Well, I'm glad, sir. My first question to you is, the week saw further gains in the crude oil prices. What is your take on this continued price increase?
First and foremost, it reflects the underlying supply side constraints because markets still expect supplies to be rather difficult given in the light of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict and the kind of impact it is having on the Russian oil production. Not everything is very clear, but the likely impact which would manifest itself more visibly in say about 4 to 6 months time as the larger effect of the sanctions take place and the overall geopolitical play gets more evident. So there is a lot of uncertainty and that uncertainty is feeding into the price. So that is largely the story as we see it in the last week's increase in the crude oil prices. The Brent went up by about $7 per barrel. Currently, we are at about $112 per barrel for the Brent. So it's a supply uncertainty and tightness which is behind this.
That does not sound very promising at the moment. My next question for you is, the proposed EU ban on the Russian oil dominated the oil and gas markets last week. What is the outcome of this and how it is likely to play out?
Yes, you are very right. It has dominated the markets and the news and everything in the sector, but it is more or less of the same kind of discussions that we have been having. Recall a few weeks back when we were discussing this subject precisely, and then we had said that the sanctions would likely come into effect no earlier than the end of third quarter. And we are referring to the EU sanctions for the Russian oil and gas. And it could stretch most likely to the end of the year. Now, this latest round of EU proposal to ban the Russian oil and gas largely is along the same lines. What they are proposing is a ban on the crude oil by the end of third quarter and a ban on the finished oil products in every form by the end of the year, which again stays more or less the same. And then there are lots of fine print to it because there are many countries in the EU which are not comfortable with it. So they have started negotiating for exceptions to it. And those countries, currently the list is Hungary, the Czech Republic, Bulgaria, Slovakia. They are looking at 2023 as the exemptions for these 4 countries. Our take is the list of the countries could possibly expand. So we are at the moment not really very clear as to how effective this ban would be. It is moving forward for sure, there is no doubt. But what the kind of exceptions and the exemptions various countries would be able to negotiate with the EU, that is yet to become visible. So as of now, it's more of the same.
So no changes so far. And my last question to you is, the US Senate committee passed the NOPEC bill. How important is this development?
This is interesting because NOPEC bill is against OPEC. OPEC or OPEC Plus is the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, and NOPEC is, which essentially, OPEC essentially is a cartel organization to keep the prices at a certain level or elevated level, which has been there for decades and decades. And at the same time, this discussion about NOPEC has been there for decades, because at one level, any price cartel is against the international rule-based law. So in US, the discussion or the demand for a NOPEC bill has been going on for about 2 decades now. What is new this time is that the Senate has passed the bill. A Senate panel has passed the bill. Now, whether at this stage it goes to Senate for passing into law, or it goes straight to the President Joe Biden to sign it into a law, is not clear. And what we see it as, this is an essential negotiating platform to pressurize the OPEC and particularly the Saudi Arabia and the Middle East countries to toe the line of the Western sanctions regime, which so far has not been the case. We can also add that recently the CA director made a private visit, kind of a secret visit, to meet up with the Saudi Kingdom to mend the frayed relations. So all this NOPEC has to be seen in this larger context as a kind of a negotiating tool. How far this is going to be successful, or whether it's going to be passed into a law, we do not know at this moment. But yes, these are interesting things, but we would not read too much into it for the short term.
So that means the OPEC Plus meeting in June is going to be an interesting one.
OPEC meeting, the last 2 meetings have been more of perfunctory approval of the strategy. The last meeting lasted all of about 12 minutes. So we do not expect any surprises there, because they have agreed already to a production increase of 432,000 barrels per day, which again, most of the member countries would likely not be able to achieve. So as such, they are pretty happy and confident the way things are in terms of the balance of the price and the production. So we expect it to be a kind of routine meeting with not much of fireworks expected.
Well, I'm glad I could get your insights on this. Thank you for joining us today. As usual, it was a delight to talk to you.
Pleasure, yeah. Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. Continue to support the channel by liking and subscribing. See you soon.